the Biz Manager and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. Now my friends, today we are going to start working on our long-term projects. You see, we have postponed a lot of things in order to achieve resource sustainability, shall we say. We now have access to pretty much all the resources that we are ever gonna need, so we can just go crazy on our projects. However, in order to achieve this, many sacrifices were made, especially in the food and water department and many other departments. Our dupes have been suffering a lot. These guys have endured quite... Oh my god. As you can see, they have endured so much that Camille is going crazy. But oh well. In any case, so I was thinking to myself, maybe it would not be a terrible idea to start a spice grinder. Interesting. Okay, to start working on our food projects. However, as I was finishing last episode, my friends, I just thought about something. You see, we are risking something very terrible. But I'm glad I remembered. Because you see, there is a particular thing that we need to achieve food sustainability. A thing that doesn't have seeds, because the seeds are the food itself. I wonder what that could be, and how close are we to not getting any? Yeah, exactly. I'm glad I remembered, because these are the last batch of freaking sleet wheat. Yeah. Yeah, my friends, either we get this out of here and into this thing, they are going to wither, but they are not going to die. If they stay in here, however, they will die. So I'm gonna stop making this right now. I'm gonna build this, and I'm gonna grab these things and put them in there, because that's like top priority. After that, well, you see, we do have access to a little bit of steel now. Almost 1200. And so we almost have the capacity of building another thermal aquatuner. We can do one of two things with it. We can either use it to tame this resource node, or we can use it to create a temperature regulation system somewhere around here, and then use that temperature regulating system to create a farmhouse and a critter's ranch. Now, here's the thing. One of the two, both things are necessary, but right now, what we can do is we can use this extremely cold output over here of -10 plus this one over here of -10, combine them both, well, not combine them, but, you know, use them to come over here and quasi-tame this cold steam vent. We are not going to be using it to its full capacity, but in the end we're gonna get something out of it, and it's not gonna cost us steel, and in the future we can then tame it. So, with that in mind, I would say that it is time for us to start thinking about building a very complex piece of thermal regulation. The Thermoregulation 5000, because in the last season we did the Thermoregulator 4000. In this season we're gonna do the 5000 because I need to keep on improving my my builds. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if I'm gonna have the space for it. So, you know, it's one of those things. But first, like I said, time to rescue... Oh my god, where are they? Time to rescue a bunch of sleet wheat grains. And then I'll focus on the thermal regulating unit. I just don't want to forget about them. Okay, there we go. So we are gonna be able to save a couple of specimens. Okay. I feel safe now. Let's work on the farmhouse. Okay, so first things first. Let's send a bunch of fossil from here. Allow manual use. You know what? Priority 9 just for a little bit. Raw material fossil. You know what? I'm even going to yellow alert just to make sure that they do this, because things on the other, on the other hand, they are not really like... It's whatever. We don't care about them. Oh, by the way, we also want to priority 1 all of... Well, maybe the ones that are planted, not the other ones. Otherwise, the dupes will never do it. Because the dupes still come over here and they deliver like water and dirt and stuff. So they'll be using stuff. So yeah. Yeah, let's send the fossil from the other place so that we can have the steel. While that is going on, which should only take a couple of seconds. Yeah, here we go. Perfect. So now we have the lime that we need. We come over here and tell them to stop. Or just, you know, do this whenever they have time. And now the steel is guaranteed, so let's go. Oh, we need another thing, my friends. Okay, there is another resource that we need. Clay, there we go. Coal. We need a bunch of ceramic, my friends. We don't, like, I mean, a bunch. Well, we need we need this. Okay, we'll make this. It's gonna be okay. Oh, man, I forgot one thing. These things need coal as well. Darn it. Oh well, the dupes will have to deliver manually. In any case, we are gonna need the ceramic, but we can start build, because that thing is gonna take its sweet time to get built, so yeah, let's just start. Now, my friends, last season we had a quite robust but bulky thermoregulating unit. I was thinking maybe I could build one similar over here. But I really don't want to do that, you see, kinda want to keep this space free for other builds. Okay, we have all of this space over here on the side, pretty much from over here till, like, here is fair game for us, maybe over here, not more than that, because we might want to expand a little bit of the forge area or whatever. But yeah, all of this is fair game for the farmhouse. So, we're gonna do things a little bit differently. This time we'll, instead of having like a large thermal-regulating unit like this, we're gonna like split it in half, and we're gonna try to stack both the cold and hot circuits on top of each other. This is gonna be interesting, I can tell you, because if it was difficult to make it in a line, stacked, it's going to be especially. Oh my god, this neutronium comes all the way over here. Look at it. This is disgusting, bruh. This is disgusting. I don't have any. Oh my lord. Oh, yeah. Like my brain was not processing this. How are we over here? Yeah, it's even worse. All right, I'll find a way. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. This is pretty much the edge of the neutronium. From here to here, we can do whatever. And yeah, we really don't have a lot of space. So what we are going to do is quite simple. Just like last time, we're going to use the steam chamber from the cooling loop to, how should I put it, siphon temperature into the hot circuit. Alright, so over here, we delete this. We are going to spend 1 billion materials because of the shape of this thing, but that's fine. It's okay. It's totally fine. We'll have more in the future. And this might be a little bit too big, actually. Maybe not. We'll have to see. Because I kinda want to have 5 circuits instead of 4 this time. So, in here, we're gonna have a pool of water to transfer the temperature. Right? So, we can then close this off. No, we cannot. In here, we're gonna start making the temperature change from the main body of temperature to the loops themselves. So we need one of this, we need one of this, which is gonna be made not from freaking steel. What? Where is my steel? Where is my steel? Oh my god, I had, like, I'm gonna be honest, I sometimes need to go back in time to look at things that I have previously built, so I hadn't unpaused the game since I loaded the game back in. Okay. Oof. In any case, my friends, disregard that. Let's just continue. So we need to build one of these things. Now, it would be nice if we had like cobalt or aluminum. We don't, so it's whatever. We'll build it out of copper ore. It's gonna work just fine. And then we're gonna build one of this. Then we're gonna end by blocking on this side and then doing something like this. In here, we're gonna put a little bit of water, and that water will transfer the temperature from here through this thick metal thingy into the fluid over here, and said fluid is then going to transfer that temperature into a radiant pipe. Alright, perfect, perfect. So now I need to replicate this 5 times over here. Cool, here we go. Now, the cool thing about this is that all of this is operated without using power, which is really nice, but it still needs a little bit of automation. So, we are going to be measuring two things: the temperature of the fluid itself and the temperature of the fluid inside of the pipe. Now, it is important that we place this thing over here on the second pipe, meaning that the fluid comes through here and exits through here, so that you have a more accurate temperature. Both of these things will, in a way, combine. We are going to use an OR gate, even though you don't need to. If you want, you can just... damn it, that's not what I wanted to do. Can you... Okay, whatever. You can just, like, combine these two things into a one wire. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. Screw it. Usually use OR gates to prevent signals backtracking into other automation and activating things they shouldn't, but in this case the automation is if either one of these things turns green, I want this to open. This is what is going to control the temperature over here. We then set it up to the desired temperature. So now let's just repeat the process to all the other things. Okay, so I just thought about it a little bit and I removed one tile of height over here because we don't need this thing to be two tiles, we just need it to be one tile height, so that's one extra tile of height that we gain of space later down below. That means that I can't build the automation there, but I will just have to not forget, you know, to build the automation. Yeah, now we come into a little bit of a problem. You see, I need to build the cold part so that I can do the piping, you know. I need to have the things in place so that I can see where I can get the piping to go through, so that I can put the valve system and then place like all the things. The problem is I don't know where I am, how much space I need for the pipes to build the other thing in the first place. So yeah, we'll have to eyeball it a little bit. Okay, yeah, now this part of here is going to remain empty so that the pipes can go through. However, over here on the in one of these two sides, we're going to have the frozen loop, if it makes sense, because you see, we need to use a cooling loop over here to freeze down a block of water. And then we are going to use that block of water in the same fashion that we are going to use this. Like, it's going to be the thing that transfers the temperature to the plates and, you know, all the system. So, yeah, we need to bring some pipes down here. But that's going to interfere with these pipes over here. So, you see the conundrum over here that I find myself in. Besides, these ladders will always also block a few things here and there, so, you know, they are also annoying. But in any case, now I just need to kinda replicate this down here, but for the frosty side. So, yeah, just give me a moment and I'll replicate this over here in a location that might be approximately the location that I want. There you go. Now, I'm not gonna build pipings or anything, because this is purely demonstrative? Yeah, that thing. Because, yeah, I need to now put the pipe for the cooling loop, which is gonna pretty much be like, one pipe goes through here, right? It turns into a radiant pipe over here, and then goes up this way. We then have like a couple of liquid bridges over here, or maybe not, we don't even, because it's just one, and then these pipes can, you know, liquid bridge themselves over there. So, with that in mind, let's see if we can find a way to pipe all of this mess, because, yeah, like, if there is one thing that I remember from last season, is that I lost almost, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 hours just Tetrising out the pipes so that they would, like, be organized. This time, it's probably going to be 2 or 3 extra hours on top of that, so here we go. You see, my friends, we are faced with a terrible problem. I don't have space for the piping. I don't think it is worth it to... like, I had a brilliant idea until I hadn't. Because, you know... But the idea was... and it was going to be so freaking glorious. It's going to be... it was going to look beautiful. So yeah, we'll bring the pipe like this, and then this... we only have one valve. Like, last time I had 2 valves. Okay, now we miniaturized that to 1 valve. Because One valve is all we need. In fact, this system, if it goes the way I think, we are not even going to need a reservoir. We're just gonna put as much coolant as the pipe takes and, you know, screw it. The pipe can do the rest, you know. It's whatever. We don't care too much. Yeah, pretty much we would bring like this, and then if this is active, it goes like this into the cooling loop. If not, it goes like this into the heating loop, and then it exits through here. It's an insulated pipe, so it can go through the hot mess. It doesn't matter. Yeah, glorious. But there is one problem. We are gonna need 5 freaking pipes going up, and then we need 5 freaking pipes going down. Where am I gonna fit that? I ain't. That's right. So this is not gonna be built over here. This is gonna be built over here. We're gonna use this entire thing to build this, and you know, you see this ladder over here? It's gonna stop existing. It's gonna stop existing because it's in the way, and everything which is in the way, it stopped existing. Because yeah, man. Well, all of that goes into the trash. Let's redesign all of this again. My friends, I think I just had a brilliant idea. We are gonna scratch the plan B and we're gonna go for plan C. Instead of going bigger, we are going to go smaller. But we are not going to reduce capabilities or functionalities. Well, capabilities a little bit, but not functionalities. You see, I was thinking, and instead of having five different cooling loops, or in this case 10 loops, because it's 5 for cold and 5 for heat, we are gonna have 1 for heat and 1 for cold. And then we're gonna use a CAN bus system, inspired CAN bus system to work it out. Let me just do a quick demonstration. There we go, my friends. This is purely a demonstration of what we are gonna do. So pretty much we're gonna have 1 cooling loop and 1 heating loop. Just 2 of them. So these 4 pipes over here represent just that, the output and the input. So, oh, there is one thing that I forgot to do. It's rather quick for this demonstration, which is this thing over here and over here. There we go. And these 2 things are connected to the same loop. So pretty much what happens here is this temperature sensor over here, it's going to control the temperature. Let's say if it is green, we want cold coolant coming through here. If it is red, we want hot coolant coming through here, right? That is pretty much the logic behind all of these automations, because this thing goes over here, right? Turns into a not signal to activate this one, or into a yes signal to activate this one. This is an AND gate. Both of these inputs are controlled by this little system over here, which is gonna pretty much how should I put it, is just so that we can flush the line before activating the new one. This is still not fully fleshed out. I still need to put a few things here and there. I just don't want to think about it just yet. But pretty much we just need to wait for this thing to turn red. It's going to send a green signal through here, activating this thing, telling everybody, hey, it's okay. And then, you know, once more fluid starts coming through here, it's going turn red. And then I just need to prevent that red from interfering with this. That's the final part. But pretty much this is the whole thing. Now, why do we have these valves over here? Well, we know that one pipe carries 10 kilos of fluid, whatever it is. We come over here and we limit that flow to 2 kilos, which means that the pipe will always have enough stuff in it to fulfill all of the farmhouses. It's going to be slower at giving the temperature that it is needed, but at the same time we are not going to be use ethanol, which is one of the worst fluids to transfer temperature with. We're going to be use petroleum, which is not much better, but it's slightly better, so just in that we gain a little bit of efficiency. But the farmhouse itself, once it reaches the desired temperature, pretty much like requires very minimal maintenance, so 2 kilos will be more than enough. Boy, this episode is probably already 30 minutes and we are still on the cycle 0. Now, with this in mind, let's just try to put it into action, shall we? There we go, my friends. This is the beginning thermoregulation block. Now, before you start screaming at me, Base Manager, you said you were only gonna get 2 loops. What the hell, you liar? You filthy... No. Okay, I said we're gonna have 5 loops for the farmhouse. This one is for something else. This one over here is for base temperature regulation. In fact, that's why I wanted 5 instead of 4, because I wanted to have 1 extra to go over there, but as I was doing the thingies, I was thinking to myself, oh, last time adding an extra cooling loop for the farm itself would not have been a bad idea. So we're gonna have 5 for the farmhouse and this one exclusively for the base. Besides, it still fits in here, so why not? Okay, so, this done, yeah, because here's the thing, it's just, this is just so that I can see the final product, because I will have to cancel pretty much everything afterwards. Okay, we have to cancel pretty much this. We need to cancel this. Yeah, it kind of sucks, because we need to build this first. We then need to fill it with water, or, you know, other fluids. Oh man, I kind of wanted to put it over there, but whatever. We need to fill this with the water, make sure that we build the automation and whatever. Then we deconstruct this, build the next layer, and then we build the next layer, and the next layer, and the next layer, and the next layer. All the way until we reach over here, which we are then going to cancel as well. But oh well. The piping, we can just put it outside, it doesn't interfere with anything. But yeah, this is a sandwich. You must put one layer at a time. Well, my friends, we won't have a lot of space for farming, but at least the piping is beautiful. Well, or as close as beautiful as one can get. So pretty much the idea is to simplify this to its maximum, while at the same time retaining some efficiency. This time we're not going to use, like, even though I'm going to use a complex automation for the rest of everything else, this is actually going to use pretty simple automation. So we have 2 different loops. We have the loop for the house and we have the loop for the farmhouse. Okay, so the house is going to be the inside loops. Okay, these are the ones that go into the base. These have a different kind of automation than the farmhouse. This pretty much, we have this tank over here, and this pipe provides these 2 valves. Depending on the temperature required, if we need cold or hot, one of the valves is going to open and allow the coolant to go through the respective loop itself, and that is going to fill the coolant to the desired temperature. Very simple, works just fine, I'm pretty certain. Never tried it, but I'm pretty certain it's not going to be a major problem. Then we have the other ones. The other ones are slightly more complex, because we already know that we are going to use these thingies in the farmhouse to choose the kind of coolant. So we have 2 inputs and 1 output. The 2 inputs, one comes from the hot line and the other one comes from the cold line. Okay, each one will have their own reservoir, just to work as a buffer, not really to because or anything else. It's, yeah, buffer only. So pretty much, okay, what we're gonna have, we are going to have coolant given be auto call at all times in the pipes, and then the valves select what kind of coolant goes into the farmhouse. Then the return line, all of them are going to connect to the same. The reason for that is quite simple. We have 5 loops valved to 2 kilos, so the return line will always be 10 kilos, regardless of how much stuff is inside of the loops themselves, right? Regardless of kind of loop is active, there is always gonna be 10 kilos. A mix of both hot and cold doesn't really matter too much, because then it goes over here and the temperature is completely irrelevant this time. Instead of having this thing open towards in the hot when we have one open to the hot, no. This time, because we the loop, it's pretty much the same for everybody, these 2 valves will be controlled by the levels of the reservoirs alone. If this reservoir is getting full, it closes the valve, all the coolant goes over there. If this reservoir is getting like full, it closes the valve, it goes all over there. Now, because the amount of coolant is going to be constant, it's either going to be both open or one of them open at any given time. This thing should never close, because once again, the fluid is constant. The amount of stuff inside of the system will never change. So yeah, as long as we program the automation correctly, these 2 things should never close down. But unfortunately, as you can see, this doesn't leave a lot of room for farming. 72 tiles, like in a good day, and we could go for 96, so not great at all, I gotta be honest. This is gonna be a very poor farmhouse. and that sucks. Okay, this neutronium is killing me. Okay, so this would be the basic idea. We would still get access to some hydroponics, but it's not as many as last time. So we have 16 hydroponics. It's not terrible, but in any case, yeah, we have the valve system over here. The piping is a bit confusing, but holy Jesus, this looks even worse now for some reason. Yeah, all is bridged and piped correctly so that we can continue to have like these 3 pipes going downwards. This is the return pipe for the cooling loop for the house itself. So yeah, all that matters is these 3 pipes over here. Now we're gonna have radiant pipe all over this place, right? However, because we're poor and radiant pipe is extremely expensive, we are gonna use a little bit of granite here and there. We pretty much just go like this, and then we fill the blanks with granite. Now, my dupes, over here you guys will have to untangle yourselves from any dangers, okay? You have to take care of yourselves, because I can't lose track of any single dupe, because the moment they start building this, they are gonna trap themselves. Okay, my friends, we can't have that. We can't have trapped dupes in here. So I just have to babysit all of them for like until like the full structure is built. I'm not safe. Okay, in other news, my friends, we can now utilize this system to its full capacity, shall we say. Let's just connect this to the main line, disconnect over here, and then reconnect this to the main storage. This thing is now fully operational, so let's just make sure that we are starting to store all of our natural gas in its proper place. That way we'll be able to vacuum much more from this thing before it goes dormant, which is going to happen in the next 30 cycles, but by then this thing will be active, so we should be okay on fuel. Yeah, in any case, it's not a bad idea to start storing it in its proper place. Alright, here we go. So we are closing in on 1 ton over here. Perfect. That's enough water for you. We can deconstruct this one and then move that priority over into this one. Now, my friends, while we are building this, I came to one conclusion. Well, I already came to this conclusion a while ago, but, well, here's the thing. You might be wondering, why there is a 3rd cooling loop over there in the cold side? This is not a cooling loop. This is for the regulation of the temperature of the water that we are going to provide to the farmhouse over here for the sleet wheat. Because you see, the sleet wheat not only requires a cold temperature, it also requires the water to be almost close to the freezing point. Not because of, you know, it is a plant requirement or anything, but because... Oh, I did not select the sleet wheat. I did not select the sleet wheat. Come on. Not because it is a plant requirement, but because it is a physics requirement. Because you see, if the water is too hot, it is going to increase the temperature of the sleet wheat while it is being absorbed, and it's going to stifle its growth. So, because of that, the water needs to be around between 5 to 10 degrees. You know, if lower, if possible, to get it even lower than that, you know, it would be great. If not, that in combination with an environment of minus 5 degrees should be all that we need to keep the plants happy. But yeah, we need this thing, otherwise there is no way of controlling the temperature efficiently. And given that we were already building this anyway, you know. My friends, I just had like a brilliant idea. We can dual purpose this thing. In the future, we are gonna need to upgrade our oxygen production facilities, right? Those production facilities are gonna need thermoregulation. Usually, what happens is I create a cooling loop with ice blocks such as this, and, you know, run a pipe through there to cool the oxygen. But well, we're gonna have one right here. Why the hell, like, waste power and resources building another one? Let's just build a radiant pipe, like, over here, like so, right? And then we just leave, like, the thing like this, and in the future we just need to connect it, right? We can leave it built, and whenever we decide to do the other thing, it's already here, and yeah. What? That, whatever. That is gonna save us a bunch of resources, my friends. Not only that, we are reutilizing the space that we already have, which means it's one less thing that we need to build. More space to build other crazy stuff. Alright, my friends, the first layer and the most complicated one is finally done. Now we just need to hope that Mr. Draco over here doesn't decide to get inside of the chamber, which would be unfortunate for him, but well, it's not like we haven't done similar things to other animals in the past episodes or anything. Wink wink. Now, in any case, we already have the water that we need. We have above 800 kilograms in every single one of them, although these ones are not going to turn into ice. I still want to have the correct amount of stuff there. Now, the ceramic that we have crafted is for this middle pillar over here, so that the temperatures don't transfer between the two things. If we could avoid it, it would be for the better. And then we put these things on top, and that's pretty much it. Actually, we then build the other layer, and then the other layer, and then the other one. So this one must be done probably a little bit faster than the previous one, because we had to wait for the water to be dropped over here. Now, my friends, while we wait for our dupes to do these kinds of tasks, I have been wondering how are we gonna use our nearly... Please don't drop stuff inside of these pools, because we'll never be able to access it again, okay? Okay, dupes. In any case, I was thinking, how are we gonna use our, our new tech, the automation thingy? Well, I think we're going to use it to manage resources as automatically as possible. So, pretty much, we just need to set up the basics, and then get into space and start exploring space so that we can find other planets. We'll find other planets, we'll colonize other planets, we'll automate them to the maximum, and then we will monitor the amount of resources that we have over there and the amount of resources that we have over here. Whenever a certain amount gets below a certain threshold, a signal is sent to check the amount of resources on the other planet. If there is plenty, we then receive a signal back, and that pretty much schedules a rocket trip to that planet. And, the dupe should get into the rocket if it's getting a green signal, go there, collect the stuff, come back without us doing absolutely nothing. We press 0 buttons for that thing to happen. I think that's how we are going to use it. Alright, you guys strapped yourselves in, didn't you? Oh my god. Oops. This is why I need to babysit you, you understand? In any case, okay? In any case, forget about the dupes. The dupes are being derpy, it's their job. Time to build the next layer. There we go. The next layer is the freaking automated doors, so that we can control the transferring of temperature from one chamber into the other. So, next slice of the sandwich, please. Another slice of our delicious sandwich completed. Now for the final layer. Oh no, we don't have the copper. Well, I'm glad I asked for some copper. Oh, I used the steel somewhere. Oh my god, where is that? Oh my god, I built something out of... didn't I? I built something out of steel. Well, if I built something out of steel, I don't know what it was, because I can't freaking find it. I've been looking for it, but nope. Oh, well, that's fine. Okay, we'll find it eventually. Or maybe never. Alright, my friends. Well, the main structure is almost built, right? Is as terminated as we need it to be. So, the next step is to fill up both of this and this with water. Now, because this is going to be a steam chamber, first we need to put the brine. Right, Wiz Manager? The brine goes first, because it's the heaviest of fluids. But well, it is what it is. Learn from past mistakes. There we go. Auto bottling enabled, and in here we're gonna put water. Now this is gonna be a bit expensive on the waterfront, because, well, pretty much we need to fill up all of this with 1 ton of water per square. So this is 16 tiles. It's pretty much this much water that it's going to be required. A bit expensive at this point of the game, but to be honest, it's totally worth it. So, with that in mind, it is time to start the very slow process of filling this thing. Oh boy, if this took like 10 cycles, this is gonna take like its sweet time. So we're gonna deconstruct this one over there, and we're gonna deconstruct this one over here. And in order to help us out a little bit, we're gonna put one over there, and besides, this tile needs to be deconstructed anyway, because otherwise the gases will just accumulate in there. That way they have somewhere to go, and this thing is gonna be completely filled up. Well, my friends, we got ourselves a new suit over here, a see-through spandex. You know what, I'm gonna take it. Eventually I'll have to pile up all the suits that we are getting so that we can start assigning them, although I'm feeling mighty tempted to go back to the full snazzy team. I don't know, I will have to think about it a little bit. Now, my friends, while these guys are building this, let's just address a few things, a few suggestions. Like, for example, how about we make an aquarium over here? Let's just grab all the eggs for Pacus and bring them over here. Like, we don't need to tame them, they just need to exist. They will self-replicate themselves over here. And, you know, whenever they decide to die, the dupes will have fish fillet for dinner. So, yeah, I think that might be a good idea, especially because we don't really have, like, too much over here. Like, we have a couple of seeds for blossom thingies, but I'm pretty certain, yeah, we have more scattered around the place, so yeah, we are not going to be missing out on those. We have some fish over here, we have some fish over here, and it's just a matter of starting to collect their eggs, and we might even send some from this colony over here, because there is clearly way too many fishes over here, so whenever they deposit eggs, we can send them as well. Like, for example, in fact, what we can do is we can just come over here, and then, where is it? Critter eggs. All of them you can send. Gold fry egg, yeah. And, yep, this one as well. If we find any, well, they'll go over there. And the second they come over here, the dupes should know that they should bring them over here immediately. So, yeah, there we go. Now, for the clay, my friends, it was suggested for us to convert all of this polluted oxygen into clay. However, yeah, taking care of that over here, we have this setup, right, that we are set up for the oxygen, and we have been steadily producing clay. When I say steadily, it's like, just this episode we already converted 20 tons of sand, so yeah, I think we'll be good, especially because I don't want to go through all of it super quickly, because right now we don't really have easy access to large quantities of sand, and therefore I kind of want to use it sparingly, because I don't know how much glass I'm gonna need until we get into space and get all of that sweet sand that asteroids have to offer us. And, you know, also, I think this one over here is sand positive as well, so we'll also get some sand from this one, but yeah, this will still need to wait a little bit. Alright, my friends, at least the cooling loop part is now built and I'm almost ready to go. So I think we might as well just start bringing the coolant over here. We're gonna use petroleum as coolant, given that it is the fluid with the lowest freezing point of -41, I'm pretty certain. Let's just make sure. Petroleum, where you at? -57, 41 is for the crude oil. Way lower than we need. We need like -20 at best for this one, and then the other ones will be just, you know, pretty irregular temperatures. We could even use polluted water actually, because we are not gonna go into like -20 degrees on the lowest temperature. No, we kind of want at best like -5, -8 for the coolant for the, in this case this one, for the sleet weed. sleet wheat, that means that polluted water would actually, you know, be pretty reasonable. Yeah, you know what? Let's use petroleum only for this, because that way we kinda are saving, and the polluted water is actually better at transmitting temperature, so, you know, it's a win-win situation. Now, my friends, you might be wondering, how are you gonna pipe such a small amount of petroleum all the way over here? The correct answer is I'm not. The dupes are gonna bring the petroleum over here by hand, and then we use this temporary pump to just take it from this small pool over here into over into the circuit. We just need to go like this and then like this. We want to use a liquid bridge when it comes to inputting the stuff into the circuit. First, because we have a pipe in the way, but second, even if we didn't, this way we guarantee that the pipe is not overflown and gets staggered. However, even though these three kind of, you know, make sure of that, I always like to give at least 2 tiles of empty space, just in case, because sometimes things happen with the aqua tuner and it starts staggering the flow, and I don't like that. So I always like to leave a couple extra tiles empty, so I'll just monitor this very carefully. Now, how are we gonna get the bottles of petroleum? It's not like we have a pool of petroleum laying around, right? Well, it's quite simple. We just come into this pipe and we request one of these orders, extract pipe content. However, as you can see, this symbol is red because we don't have anyone capable of doing that. So we'll have to come over here into skills, find someone who is interested in tithing, and give that dupe the plumbing skill. Well, in this case, we don't need, because Hassan already has the plumbing skill, because he loves it. Okay, Hassan, right now you will have to do tasks beyond the things that we were requesting, so yeah, I think it's tidying. And then we come over here and give it high priority. Let's see if Hassan comes over here and does this. Yep, here we go. So, pretty much every time Hassan goes into the pipe and empties out, 10 kilograms of petroleum come out. I just need to get a rough estimate on how much petroleum we are gonna get, and then I just need to count it. So let's go like this. We are gonna need roughly 200 kilograms plus 4, oh, not really 4, but yeah, let's see, 20 kilograms over there, 24, 28, 9, almost 30 packets, so 300 kilograms. Let's go for 280. And if we then need more, we just, you know, request this again. Okie dokie, some of the petroleum has been inputted. There we go. I think that's all of it, right? That's probably it. That's probably it. If you go over here, petroleum available 80 kilograms. Maybe I don't want that then. Okay, we have a little bit laying around. It's okay. It's okay. It's fine. But yeah, now we have the coolant going through there. I don't think we have too many empty spaces. We don't. I forgot to, yeah, put the bridges in into my calculation. So yeah, now we have to decide what temperature we want. This thing will send a green signal if above, let's say, minus 20. Which means it might spike to minus 34 because this thing decreases the temperature in 14 degrees steps, so it might spike at minus 34, but it's still fine. The petroleum is not gonna care for that, so yeah. Now, my friends, because the temperature will eventually start to decrease in here and increase in here, it might not be a terrible idea to set up the automation, or at least the parameters for these things already. So, what we want is quite simple. In here, we are going to have heat, and in here, cold. In the cooling loop that goes for the farmhouse, we need to put the most extreme temperatures. We will want sleet wheat and eventually pinches. These things like temperatures that are quite toasty. So let's aim for the 45 degree maximum. And slit wheat really likes frosty temperatures. If I can select a slit wheat, that is. We are gonna aim for -10 of maximum temperature over here in the parameters that we are gonna set. And then over here, we're gonna set the over here, we're gonna set the parameters to -5. We want the coolant to be colder than the parameter, than the minimum or maximum parameter that we are gonna set, right? And for the high temperature, the same. This thing will set up to 40. Therefore, we want the coolant to be at 45 degrees, so that it is slightly above the maximum temperature that we are gonna request. Well, my friends, we are almost there. We are at 600 kilograms per tile over here, which is pretty nice. I had to stop the cooling loop because things were getting a little bit too frosty. And I don't want this thing to start solidifying just yet. Yeah, let's just wait a little bit on that. Now we are just finishing up the final preparations over here on these farmhouses. We are finishing up all of this. These ones will wait because, this one we still don't need it. We don't even have the seeds for these things. This is going to be a double thingy. We're going to have a double farmhouse in 2 in 1. You see, pinches and waterweed, they both require the same temperature. So we're going to have the pinches over here, 1, 2, 3, and the waterweed, I think it's just 1. But if we need to drop this one more tile, it's totally fine. So yeah, it's pretty much what we are going to do over here. And this one I still don't know. I think I might convert it to grubs because this is a good source of food. And you know, the dupes are happy eating it, so you know, maybe we'll just make a grub thingy over here. But this is the main priority. Berry sludge must be secured. Alright, my friends, well, the dupes are finishing up with the final packets of water over here. We can finish the automation over here as well. Everything is already done, so once we start inputting the coolant into the system should come online, which is pretty nice. So the way this is going to work is actually very simple. This is all the automation that we need. This thing controls the temperature. So pretty much this one below is cold coolant. This one is hot coolant. So if the temperature gets below 7 degrees, which is roughly the temperature that we want in this chamber, it's getting a little bit too cold, so it's going to turn green, deactivating this thing and activating this one, because the one below is always going through a NOT gate, so that it is always the opposite of this one. So as you can see, it's pretty simple, and this way, because these things are going to be set to 2 kilograms, the flow of coolant is slow enough that there is no spikes in the temperature, even though the hot coolant is actually pretty hot and the cold coolant is actually pretty cold. Okay, so this thing is almost done. A few packets and it should be done. So we can resume operations. Let's start by putting in coolant into the system. Let's go like this. We'll shop it over here and we build it over there. Please, thank you very much. Now hopefully we will only get polluted water and not regular water, but well, I'll have to be careful, I suppose. But yeah, if I have bridged things correctly, which given the amount of bridges that you can see over here is asking a little bit too much, I think everything should work fine. Now, it might look confusing, but this thing is oddly organized. It is just, we need to have all these bridges in order to have, you know, a bunch of pipes going down into the sides, because we still need pipes for the water over here, and over here, so that's what these things over here are. And then we need all the other pipings for the loops themselves. So let's start filling in everything, and then storing in a significant amount of stuff inside of these reservoirs. Okay, so we don't have the 5 circuits going, but good news! None of the bridges are built backwards. Victory for me, I can't believe it. Oh boy, but yeah, as we can see, the system is operating as intentional. Now, of course, we don't have the temperatures yet acquired, but you know, it's gonna take a little bit of time until this is turned into an ice block. We already have the water. I'm just topping off, making sure that we have as much as possible over here before this thing is turned into an ice block. And yeah, now it's just a matter of waiting. Except I have all the temperatures over here backwards. I thought this was the cold and this was the hot. So yeah, we want things to be exactly backwards from everything that we have set up. Well, my friends, I would call it a success. Everything is working as intended, at least for now. How are we gonna get that sweet temperature that much? Well, we'll have to... Oh boy. You guys using the fertilizer? Okay. In any case, as I was going to say, this is working as intended. Now, will this be enough to keep the temperature in the ranges that we want? That remains to be seen. I'm confident that yes, especially because we were using ethanol in our previous build, and I'm pretty certain that 2 kilos of polluted water has roughly the same conductivity, thermal capacity, I don't know, it has roughly the same stats as 10 kilos of ethanol. Okay, so, but yeah, I'm confident that this is gonna work as we wanted, so yeah. And just the fact that we were able to miniaturize it and still get the same functionality out of it leaves me pretty happy. Okay, my friends, so even though we still are not fully operational, we can say that at least we are on our way there. Now, this thing will take a few extra turns than we have in this episode, so it's not going to be fully operational, but I'm pretty happy with the results that we have already. Now, in order for us to fully get this thing rolling, we'll have to mess with the pipes over here. These pipes over here, they cannot exist. This water will have to come through some other means, because we need this space for the water that we need to bring over here to get it chilled out, and then to bring it backwards into the slit wheats, and then also water for the bristleberries. So yeah, we need a lot of water lines over here, and this one needs to go. And speaking about water, would you look at that? We don't have a lot of water left. So, that means that the next episode, definitely, we need to start getting into these pockets of water and converting all of them into sweet, clean water. Right now we can't, because this thing is super frosty and it would freeze inside of the pipes, and therefore that's a terrible idea. So we need to run that water and this water through this one, so that both, all three of them can come into more tepid temperature. That way we don't need to waste too much power tepidizing everything, right? We can just run the cold through the hot and everything should be okay. And yeah, I think that's our primary objective for the next episode. I want to have this thing filled up with water, otherwise I'm not gonna feel happy. And we can also build over here a couple of ranches so that we can start farming some meat. Given that we're also going to start farming some veggies, we still need to get ourselves a fridge, so we could work on that as well. So yeah, there is plenty of projects still waiting on the to-do list. Oh, would you look at that? We have some steam being formed. Beautiful. The steam formed faster than the ice. Oh well, the ice is not super far away, but it's still gonna take a little bit of time. Now, another thing that is gonna take some time, my friends, is the temperature of the coolant. Because you see, this is something that even though it's gonna do the things that we want, because we just want to maintain the temperature of our room. It's not like this thing is producing a huge amount of heat, right? So one thing that is gonna take its sweet time is for this polluted water to reach the desired temperature, because this thing is not super powerful at transferring temperature. So you know, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but it's fine. It's perfectly fine. As long as this thing gets within the temperatures that we want, eventually it should like stabilize. So you know, it's not gonna be super terrible. In fact, this thing at some point it's just gonna stop working for long periods of time. Yeah. So yeah, my friends, with this cycle coming to an end, so must this episode. I'm pretty happy with what we achieved today. This is a pretty complex thing to get done. I always get a bit stressed out when it comes the time to build these kinds of things. So yeah, I'm glad we did this episode because it's done. Okay, I don't have to worry about it anymore. So yeah, like I said, next episode we definitely need to take care of our water situation. It's definitely not good right now. So I say that we maybe have 30 to 40 cycles worth of water to untangle ourselves out of this situation, so we probably should hurry up. But all of that is a problem for future me to resolve, my friends, and with all of that said, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye.